Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We have bellied up to the bar today. He asked me beforehand how he looked, so I'm going to say he's ravishing, he's stunning, ruggedly handsome, all these type of things. See, I tell him all my guests before we get started, I have no idea how I'm going to introduce them. So this gentleman made it so much easier because he asked me, so how's my... I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. So we got it all ready. Joining us all the way from the left coast, it's Mr. E.R. Ruiz.
Yeah. E.R. in the house. What it do? What it do?
Give you a little bit of applause there. You know, it's like one of those live studio audiences and all those things. So how are you, brother, man?
I'm blessed, man. I'm great. Today is a beautiful day. Man, I'm happy. I'm here. I'm living. I'm breathing. I can't beat it,
left
man.
coast.
We've been dealing with some rain, some showers, but today, the past few days, is beautiful. So come out.
Well, see, there you go. Head out to the left coast. Alrighty, folks. Before we get too far into talking about Ruiz, E.R. Good Lord, I'm calling you Ruiz. I like that better. You like that?
Cool.
You do that?
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, that's 20 years in the Marine Corps. Just tell everybody about their last name. But brother man and I are going to get ready to get going here in a second. Before we do, let's go ahead and get some house cleaning done. As always, folks, over my right shoulder, we got the big board for sticker and a cause. So maybe you've got your own podcast, a band, a group, whatever it happens to be, and you've got a sticker and you want to get it read live here on the air. You can reach me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram, TikTok, and on our Facebook or on our .com, the Above the Bar podcast.com. Let me know what you got going on, how to get a hold of you. We'll talk. I'll give you the email or give you my address. You send me out a sticker and we read about you live here on the air so everybody can know what you got going on. It's how it works, folks. One hand supports another one. All right. And then I see it's pretty sunny where you're at. Like I can see the sun over your right shoulder there, ER. It's pretty sunny.
Yes, sir.
You might need to talk to our sponsors. That's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. Budget Blinds is your number one window treatment company in the United States and in Canada, specializing in shutters, shades, drapes, everything under the sun that you can think of. And because it's all under the sun, it can block the sun out there from you so you can enjoy your day and enjoy those spaces. You don't have to worry about glares, none of those things. And if you reach out to them and tell them you're there to belly up to the bar, they're going to give you 15% off your entire order. That's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. All right, ER, all that stuff.
Belly up to the bar.
You got to belly up, man. You got to tell them, hey, I'm here to belly up to the bar and get some new window treatments. They're going to take good care of you. You like that? Say,
I do like that.
I love a good double entendre. Do you know where that phrase "belly up to the bar" comes from?
No, not exactly. No.
But you've heard it before, right?
I've heard it like millions of times.
So it actually comes from England when they did not have an age limit on drinking. So you were old enough to drink if you could get your belly up to the bar.
That makes sense. It's
one of those ones where that term comes from, belly up. Just like watching your P's and Q's. Do you know what that comes from?
No.
So you always hear people like, hey, you better watch your P's and Q's. And in our minds, we're like, hey, I got to be on point. I got to watch what I'm doing. It actually is another English tavern term from watch your pints and quarts.
Another drinking term?
It's a drinking term. It has nothing to do with paying attention to what you're doing. It has to do with watching your pints and quarts to make sure that like you're paying attention to your pores and everything.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, full disclosure, I've been watching my pints and quarts right now.
Look, I'm on the same page. Look, brother, if you're gonna belly up to the bar, you got to do it right. What are you enjoying today?
I'm Cutwater. I'm drinking some Cutwater.
Is that one of those like alcoholic waters or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. There we go.
Little pina colada right there, huh?
Yeah.
All right, all right.
I'm belly upping, Sean. I'm belly upping.
As well, we all should do. Well, it's funny, you know what this past Saturday was, right? You know what this past Saturday was.
Wait. These days go by so fast. I can't remember what
it was an unofficial holiday this past Saturday.
All right, because it wasn't St. Patrick's. That was like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was back
right?
in March. It was an unofficial holiday. You gotta look. I mean, when you get a moment, look at the calendar. You see what the unofficial holiday was when you get a moment. And wouldn't have been me, but somebody educated me that they now sell a THC straw.
A THC straw. Is it edible?
It's an edible, and it's a company called, I'll plug them. It's a company called My High. They sell in Michigan, Massachusetts, and New York, but it's a completely water soluble THC.
What?
So completely water soluble THC that you can add to drinks, just regular old water, and they have flavorless. They have a couple with flavors. They have on their website like mixed drinks you can add it to, all kinds of different stuff. So it's interesting, and they say they're fast acting, happens within 10 minutes. Somebody wants to say hi real quick here. ER, come on,
all
buddy.
right, let's do it.
Hear you. So pop your head in, watch the bottles behind the bar. You want to say hello to Mr. ER?
What's up?
Say hello. You gotta talk.
Well, can you even hear me?
He can hear you.
I can hear you.
You can't hear him because I got my earbuds in.
Oh.
All right. How was baseball practice?
Pretty good.
Did you do
nice.
good?
Yeah.
All right. You're gonna
hey, good job. Good job.
Good job. All right. I love you. All right. See you. This is what it's like to do live podcast, folks. People just show up and talk to you. But yeah, brother, like takes about 10 minutes to kick in, and then you move on from there. So it but you out there in Khalifa. I mean, you out there. I mean, they've been doing it out there forever.
It's 420 free every day before it was legal.
Yeah, like y'all been doing it. Y'all been out there doing the long game for a long time.
I know, man. I know. I haven't had the straw though. That's interesting.
Yeah, look, check it out. It's a powder form called MYHI. I'll plug them.
MYHY.
MYHI, and I was pretty. I have to say, I was pretty impressed by what they now. Lucas, now excuse me for a moment, son. I love you. I am doing a podcast. Can you please take the ball and go somewhere else? Out, beat it, kid. Out of my bar upstairs with you. This is what live is like, folks. If you didn't know that, being the father of 8 children, this is what life is actually like around my house, where I am constantly telling someone, get out of my space, get out of my face. But let's get into it. So
go ahead. Let's go ahead, Sean.
Let's get into it here, brother. And again, folks, if you're joining us in this live, make sure you're sharing, letting people know we got ER's Instagram flowing at the bottom here at ER7879 on Instagram. Make sure you're giving him a follow so you know what he's got going on. But I got your IMDb up here for a second. So
talk to me.
Let's see how this goes for me. So
all right.
You've got 7 awards. You've got for let's see, Best Ensemble Cast, Blood in the Snow, Canadian Film Festival, Marina Del Rey Film Festival, Best Improv. How do you even pronounce it? Inspiration. There's no S in it. It looks like you're supposed to say inspirational, but it says imperational. It looks like you should say inspirational, but
this is on IMDb.
Yeah, and then we've got For this is all for the movie The Guitar. Like you
Oh yeah,
cleaned
the
you
guitar.
cleaned it up for The Guitar. I mean, best
The
short
guitar is
film, best short
yeah,
film.
it's a good short film.
Like, I mean, but I mean, you've also look, man. I told somebody today that I work with. I said, yeah, I got this cat coming on Ruiz. He was on Sons. They were like, Sons? Really? And then they pulled it up and they were like, I know him. I mean, I mean, like all cast members on Sons, you got smoked, but I mean,
I
you're a one
lasted 4 seasons. I lasted 4 seasons.
I mean,
Yeah.
four seasons on Sons. Listen, that's a pretty good job there on Sons to make it 4 seasons. But I mean, and I love that show, dude. You were a one
I love
niner. That was what right? That's what the gang was. One niners.
One Niners, yeah.
Yeah,
That whole that whole that whole experience was a learning experience, bro. Cause like
what
that
was
was
that
like
like?
as an actor, that was like my introduction. You know
What
what
do
I'm
you mean?
saying? I think I did something like before that, but that was like my legitimate introductory first time being a part of like a cast like that. Kurt Sutter directing.
Dude,
Um,
what's Sutter like? Like, I mean, I'm assuming you met him.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
He
what
was
is that
really
dude like?
chill. Dude, he's like he probably uses that 420 straw a lot too. No,
That's how he's getting down.
no, but I just remember when I walked into the audition and I saw like all these other people reading for the Niners, and in my head I was like, yo, man, I was like, damn, these people look like the fucking part. Like
Right.
I have no chance of booking this shit, but let me just do me. And I went in there. I was still green as an actor, and I ended up landing a role. I mean, I booked it, but it was just off my confidence and my swag. The
That's
skill
awesome.
set. The skill set happened after I booked the job, and then the skill set was all about working with all the great cast: Charlie Hunnam, Ron Perlman, Kim Coates, all those guys. And just them like kind of taking me under their wing and kind of just showing me the ropes. It's almost like somebody pushed you in the water and just said, "All right, learn how to swim."
Well, it goes back to that saying, "Rising tides raise all ships."
hmm
And I mean, your tide had to come up, in a situation like that because you are around. I mean, Katie Seagal's on that show. Sutter had
Yes,
already done Shield and
yes,
raised it. You got guys like what's his name from the commish showing up on episodes. I mean,
yes,
there. I
yeah,
mean, that was a no slouch cast.
yeah, yeah. And Walter Goggins, now
Oh
I
yeah,
work with
God.
him. Yeah, he was there. I met him when he was
Well,
there.
you were in for the Goggins episode seasons too.
I was. I met him in some of we didn't shoot together, but they always shoot things together in certain locations. So I met him there. And who else? Um, a lot of people, man. Dang, well, I can't think of their names right
See,
now.
I'm a big Justified fan.
Yeah,
So when like it's funny when people talk about Walter Goggins and they're like, "Yeah, man, I seen this guy. He's really great. He was on this new show I'm watching, Fallout." I'm like, "You mean Walter Goggins?"
yeah,
Or are we talking about Walter Goggins Justified where he's playing like a super badass character, or are we talking like Walter Goggins? We're gonna go ahead and go and do Sons of Anarchy, and he's playing a
the
trainee.
trainee.
Like,
Yeah.
which Walter Goggins are we working with? And people are like, "What he did?" I said, "Are we talking about Walter Goggins in Principals when he's the vice principal?" And
I love that show. That's so funny.
yeah, I mean, he's absolutely hilarious in that.
Yeah,
Or what's the
yeah.
other one? It started popping up recently where he plays like the evangelist preacher,
Oh, Gemstones, the Gemstones
something
something.
like that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love when he does the comedy stuff. It's pretty funny. It's
Well, you
pretty
know what?
funny.
I'm going to ask you this question. It's kind of an acting question, and I've always felt this about for actors. Are comedic actors, in my opinion, are the best dramatic actors? I've always felt
Yeah,
that. What's your vibe on that?
I think it's pretty legit because I've seen Jim Carrey play some serious stuff. You know, the films didn't probably like make a lot of money, but he's really stepped into some character roles. I even worked with him on a movie, and got a chance to meet him on The Bad Batch, directed by Anna Lily Imapor, with Jim Carrey was in it, Keanu Reeves, Jason Momoa. So I think, yeah, I think that is true. Yeah,
See, I think about
he,
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen, yeah.
Like I've seen him in dramatic roles. He did one on Netflix where he played a Palestinian working for the whatever the Jewish Secret Service is, and like went deep undercover, and like his character in this Netflix series, you're like, is this the same guy that's like doing like ass jokes and stuff? Like this isn't the same.
Borat.
Like
This isn't
Borat.
Borat.
This isn't like this. Is this the guy that's like pranking what's her name? Paula Abdul with human furniture?
Yeah.
Like this can't be right. And here he is like doing these ultra serious roles. I'm like people are missing this guy's the best actor like of a generation.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
he's at that level. But that kind of feeds into what I wanted to find out. Like there's a lot of people that want to get into acting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they think like I did my 6th grade play where I played a tree and I think I got this all figured out. How long have you been in the acting game?
Man. Well, okay, first off, I've never had it all figured out. I feel like I'm just now figuring it out. And I'm and I'm like 14 years in now. But um before I even took it serious, bro, before I was even taking it serious, I was doing background. I was just around like people. I mean, because I was doing music. I still do music too. But I just had a good character look being a burn survivor. So living out here in LA and just being around LA, I was just around people who were like, "We like your look. You want to be in this and that." And the first recognizable job that you could probably see me in as an extra, as a background artist, was in Austin Powers, Gold Member, in the
Who are you
prison
in?
scene.
What?
Yes, yes.
Hold on. I'm still on your IMDb. I gotta find that
You're not
shit.
gonna see it on there. You're not gonna see
What?
it on there because I was just an extra. I was just an extra.
Oh,
But there's a photo somewhere along the line in
I
my
had to find that shit.
IG. There's a photo somewhere in
I
there.
have to go through your
Uh,
IT and find that because that's super cool, man.
so
And
that's how I
wow.
got tapped. That's how I got Taft Harley into the game. I did not join SAG during that time, and then from there I was doing background a lot on different stuff. And But I wasn't really taking acting serious. And but once I made a conscious decision to, like, you know what, I'm gonna just take this serious, and then push forward with the opportunities that's given to me. As soon as I did that, boom, and an agent was like, "Yo, I want to rep you." And as soon as the agent rep me, boom, that's when I ended up booking Sons of Anarchy. So it was like a conscious decision, and then the universe like
Accepted it.
accepted it. Yeah, and then boom, it just became a whole career path.
Now, it's something you just said a minute ago. I'm curious of. So, and if you want to explain it, I think everybody would love to hear it. And folks, if you want to know about ER, you can find him on Instagram at ER7879. His IMDb is ER Ruiz, Ruiz. Make sure you're checking him out. So, if you want to tell everybody what happened as far as the burn is concerned, we'd love to know what happened. But how did that make you feel? Like, hey, this is my craft. At first, when people weren't saying like, hey man, I've seen you in this acting debut and I really think this is amazing. They were really focused on, hey, we saw this burn. It doesn't require anything of us from, an FX or a special effects standpoint. We'd be interested in you trying for a role. How did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, to be able to put yourself out there and then be judged on your look and this and that. In the beginning, yeah, it was very nervous because being a burn survivor and just like questioning myself and in an industry that's all about your image. um it was definitely something that I pondered on. I mean, a little bit about me. I was in a house fire when I was 9 years old. So that's how it happened. I was in a house fire at 9 years old. My uncle saved my life. He
Wow.
got me out the house. And then from that point on to adulthood, I've always been a part of the community of burn survivors. Organization that I'm closely related to out here in California is the Alisa and Ruch Burn Foundation, along with Firefighters Quest, the Grossman Society, and then there's an annual thing called the Phoenix Society of Burn Survivors. So I'm deeply a part of that. But it happened when I was 9. Somewhere around high school, I fell in love with my body, myself. I just accepted it who I was, and so I carried that uh, perspective of me, of like finally accepting me, the outer appearance of me. So when I got along the lines of being able to like be a part of this industry, even before like professionally acting, it was still weird. It was still weird and a bit of a insecurity, a little bit, but I never showed it. I never showed like any parts of the the security that I might have, because I was always someone who felt confident in myself. So whatever insecure feelings that I might have, I'll just overshadow it of like just being able to live my life and accepting the journey and moving forward.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
And that's it, you didn't make it. It wasn't your I am.
No,
And
no,
I always talk about that on the show. I'm big about that. Like, is it your I am?
no.
I am fill in the blank, or are you? I am an actor, or am I this? And I think that's a
Yeah.
huge part of it. That's pretty awesome, bro.
I mean, it could be something. Maybe sometimes I question if I put that forward in front of me, maybe that will propel me. But I never wanted to like use that as a handicap or be it some kind of like crutch. I always wanted to be accepted as a person, or in
First,
this case, an actor, before anybody say, "Oh, he's a burn survivor actor."
right?
Uh, but I feel like um, I feel like I've been around so long. I may have opened doors for other people to walk through, and because I never necessarily put myself out there as this public figure for
Hold
the
on.
industry.
Let's not say maybe I might have, because because listen, if anybody who knows me, I do 0.0 research on my guests because I want to hear your story naturally as you're telling it to me because I want to be inquisitive. But I did a little on you,
Uh-huh.
and something before you sit here like, well, I might have opened some doors. You just got an award from the city of Pasadena, didn't you?
Yes, yes,
For all
yes.
your work, and don't you do a bunch with, like, some firefighter groups or something like that?
The burn survivor organizations,
Yeah, let's not bro, let's not downplay this. Like you're on point with it. Let's not sit here like,
Thanks.
"Yeah, I might have done a little something," you know? Like, let's not play that game. Like, you're on point with everything you're doing. But,
Thanks.
I
Thanks.
mean, I mean, like there's nothing wrong with leaning into things. For those who don't know the actor, maybe you might know the name Michael Berryman. He was an actor who leaned in 100%. You might know the character Pluto from Hills Have Eyes, or he was one of the bikers in Weird Science. This is an actor who had like all kinds of stuff, and he was like, but you know what? I'm really good at acting. Let me lean into this thing. And he took advantage of it and created an entire career out of it. So people who are like, bro, and you said it beforehand, 4 seasons on Sons. You might have had it figured out a little bit. And not to dismiss that, you know, we also add into that, you know, we've got The Bad Batch, we got Happy Face, American Sniper. I mean, you might have. You might have. You might have got a little of it right. But
it's a growing experience. It's a growing experience.
Like, I don't know, like, honestly, like, I can sit on behind this mic all day long. I could do this all day long. I can't drink bourbon and whiskey all day long as I'm doing it. I would be spending half the show like this trying to like, look, man, I can see you. Wait a second. Now let me go to my good eye. Like, it would be bad. But when people talk to you, I'm curious, like, do you feel like because you know you've gotten into this acting piece, what are some of the things that people come up to you and they're like, and I know you probably get to like, hey, how do I become an actor? But what are some of the things that people come up to you that are like more of that, like, really, you just asked me this about becoming an actor? What are some of the like odd questions that you get with getting into the acting field?
The odd questions. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like most people that do ask me, they know me. Yeah, random people for sure, but I get asked a lot of questions from like people from the neighborhood that I know. Because I sometimes my family is still out here in LA, so I'll go in LA and people will ask me, "Oh man, hook me up, man, get me in." This and that.
Look, dog, I can do this. Like, look, dog, like, look at me, look at my profile, look at my profile. I know you can get me in. I'm saying, like, I got this. I got it. Is
And
it
I'm
one of
like,
them?
yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you can do it, but I can't hold your hand.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you the information. I'll say, look, do A, B, and C. Do A, B, and C, and then come back to me when you do it. And then you know what I'm saying. And once at least show me the effort, put the effort in, and you know, and then
Right. I can't want it more than you want it for yourself.
exactly, you know.
Isn't that the best when people are like, hey, dog, put me on, put me on. I know you got it. Like, yeah, put me on. And you're like, look, I'm not winning Oscars and, you know, standing up on stage for Tonys. Like,
Not yet, anyway. Not yet.
right, not yet, but like help a brother out. Like if you trying to get there, I'll get you there. But like, but you said it. And I've known a few people that have like SAG cards. Would that be one of your advices is like, hey, if you want to get your SAG card, look in the paper or go online. I believe there's a few websites now where would you advise somebody like, hey, go stand and be an extra. Make the
Of course, of
$200 for
course.
that day, whatever it is. Just start there.
I tell them 3 places to go sign up with, and then I'll refer them to people who want to help them with their photos. And then once they do that and they make the effort to do that, then yeah, because I know them personally, I'll put a little extra in and helping them push forward. But they gotta at least like put the effort in and do A, B, and C first. You know.
So what would you say is A? Where do we start A at?
A would be well, there's people you should sign up. You should sign up with online casting agencies like Casting Networks, Actors Access. If you're in New York and LA, Central Casting, those things, and you should at least sign up and register with these online places just to get things going, get your profile on there. You don't need a professional photographer. Just do it with your phone. It's all about lighting. So as long as you have good lighting, a good backdrop, you can take some pictures.
What do you think, ER? Do I have it?
I think you're gorgeous. Yes.
I think.
I love it. I love it. With the pepper.
Beard.
Yeah.
It's the skunked beard.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody is in need of a role of a guy who's a podcaster. And I can sit there because there was a movie back in the 80s where gosh, my buddy Jim said, I guess I gotta move to LA. Jim, when the minute they decide to do a live action version and they need Cornelius from Rudolph, you are the man. He looks just like him when his beard's out and everything. And he said he looks just like Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But I mean, so that's you gotta get your name out there. Somebody's got to be willing. What about, is it, I don't know if worth it's the right question, the right way to phrase this, but what do you see as the value, or did you even spend the money on acting classes in these like, oh, I do improv classes? Like, did you do anything like that? Is it worth the value?
It is. When I first started off, I was taking classes with Ivan Mercoda. He passed away a couple of years ago. He had an acting class in Hollywood. He was the teacher for Bryan Cranston. He was one of Bryan Cranston's teachers. And the actor from Starship Troopers, the lead actor. What's his name?
No, I love Starship Troopers.
The lead actor from Starship Troopers.
And you would ask that.
Yeah. It's Van something. I can't think of it, but Ivan Marcoda, he took his classes.
Casper Van Dell?
Yes, yeah. So they were like his alumni during that time. And I took his classes for a while. And then after that, I didn't really stick to any class. I kind of just crashed different courses. Like other actors, they're like, oh, come check out my class. And then I'll check them out. I did a lot of workshops, a lot of code reading techniques. And I think those are the best techniques.
What is code reading techniques?
So it's like if I gave you a script and told you, here you got 10, 15 minutes to like go through this script and audition these lines in front of me. So I'll give you a script you had never looked at, and you got to look it over for 10, 15 minutes, and then come into the casting office or in the room and audition the scene. So I took a lot of code reading techniques like that. And
just kind of like throwing somebody into the fire, like good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah. But see, casting directors, I did it to meet the casting directors, and for them, it was probably a hustle, where they'll charge $50 for you to do a code reading with them. But as an actor,
paid them for that.
Mm-hmm. But as an actor, it's a good skill set, because sometimes I'm on sets, different productions, and they're like, oh, okay, here go the script. You got 20 minutes to run it through, and we're gonna shoot it. so that's
Wait
a skill set.
Now, in a case like that, I've never heard of this before. So in a case like that, so you paid them $50. They're gonna have you read the script, but is the footage they're taking real footage that could be used in something, or is it footage like, hey, this is just to test out how somebody reads with you?
Yeah, but it wasn't even no footage. It was just a workshop where you paid to have a one-on-one with the casting director, and they get the chance to meet you, and you get a chance to meet them, and there's no guarantee of future work.
But that's a hustle, dog. That sounds like a straight hustle.
It was a hustle, but I was a part of it. I was in that era when casting directors were doing that. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore, but it was it was an era of doing that.
Like, because I'm thinking, like, if I'm a casting director, I'm like, yeah, so we're gonna have this workshop. It's $50 a pop. Go ahead and come on down. You got 20 minutes, and I could sit back here with a bottle of something and be like, all right, did a great job. Make sure you're smiling during everything. Next. At $50 a pop. I mean, that's a good day, man. I could run through at 20 minutes. That's $150 an hour for an 8-hour day. I mean, bro. I think I'm moving to LA. Like I can do this.
But the skill set, it's the skill set is
It was there.
is
Like,
it
I
was
learned a lot
there.
about this. Oh, that's so great, bro. I mean, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. I mean, I'm feeling every bit of it. Like we're 100% on this. So I mean, so you're going through this process. You're working it. So we know A is get yourself on some of these websites, some of these places where people are doing it. B
Mhm,
is to kind of, hey, you're gonna have to hone a little bit of a craft. You're gonna have a skill set. You know,
mhm.
you can only have an amazing profile like this
Mm.
one for so long before somebody's gonna ask you to talk unless you're Vin Diesel, and all you have to do is go, I am Groot.
I am
Uh,
Groot.
I am Groot. I mean, talk about a guy who's like made it happen.
I fucking love Vin Diesel.
Here's a random piece of Vin Diesel history, or Vin Diesel trivia. Did you know he's a big D&D guy?
No, I did not know.
So
I
Vin
didn't know.
Diesel is a big D&D guy, and I'm gonna look up the movie name because I know what it's called, but I don't remember the full title of it. Um, do you remember his movie that flopped? But I actually love the movie, The Last Witch Hunter.
Yes, I loved it too. I loved it too.
So his movie, The Last Witch Hunter, is actually based on a D&D character that he has played for years. The name,
What?
the skill set, everything. Yeah, if you get a chance to look it up, that character is based on, I'm looking to see if I can find it. I'm on IMDb real quick to see if I can find if it's in the trivia, because yeah, there it is. Vin Diesel has been a Dungeons and Dragons player for years. He taught Dame Judi Dench to play on the set of The Chronicles of Riddick, which I love that movie.
I
The
love it
main
too.
character in this movie was partly based on his old Dungeons and Dragons character, Melkor, who was a witch hunter. He used one of the third-party Dungeons and Dragons books to create the character class, as he loved being a ranger type, but also liked to use a few spells too. Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that. Diesel, you gotta make another movie and put ER in
Yeah, I'm saying
it.
Vin, just and ER's perfectly fine. He will stand in the background and go, no, no, no. But I mean, I'll show my age for a minute. How many people just when I went actually wanted to say na 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 na, but
No, 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 no.
I said na 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 na.
That's not showing your age.
That is showing my age 100%. But I mean, so we got the first two pieces to the puzzle. What's the third piece? If somebody like, so we know we've already said, hey, get yourself on the website, get yourself a little bit of training. What's the third piece to the puzzle? If somebody and look, folks, if you think you've got the Brad Pitt side to it, or the Angelina Jolie, or any one of these A-list, or I don't know where you put her. I love her to death. Sarah
You
Paulson.
just you just you just called it. Know your type. You
What do
gotta
you
know
mean?
your type.
What do you mean?
So like for me, right? Of course I could do handsome officer and gentleman roles, of course, but my type is always um criminal, military, bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a niche. So I know
Okay.
my niche. I know my lane, and my goal is to just fucking dominate the lane, be the best in my lane, and then branch out and do more normal type of characters, you know.
But you know what I love about how you just said it? You're owning the fact that, like, hey, I'm okay with this. I know I'm not a bad guy. I know I do great things in the community. But for a character for a movie, I'm completely okay with it. Now I gotta
Exactly.
ask this question though. And I'm pretty sure, how does mom, if I'm hoping mom's around. God, I hope I'm not
Yeah,
distract that.
she's around.
How does mom feel when she's like, Miklo, why are you the bad guy? Like, how does she feel about these things when she sees you? Mija,
She, I mean,
why are you the bad guy?
she just likes the fact that I'm on TV, and then she would call all her girlfriends and tell her, "Oh,
Mija's on TV. Look at this.
he's on TV. Turn to channel 4."
Oh, I so love that. Mom's
Yeah,
on it. Look, folks,
yeah,
if you're just joining us right now, we got Ruiz. He's an actor. I don't know if activist is the right term, but
no.
he what would be the right? I mean, because you support your community. He supports his community.
Burn
He's
survivor.
burn survivor. He's involved in a lot of different things. He supports the other burn victims, making sure that their voices are heard. He's been on Sons of Anarchy for 4 seasons. He was in Worth, The Bad Batch, Happy Face, American Sniper. I mean, we're not talking about somebody who's like, oh, I might get into acting maybe one day. I've done a commercial. Make sure you're checking him out on @ER7879 on Instagram. You can find him on there. So, what's our goal here? Like, obviously, it's the Academy Award, it's the Tony, it's all those things. But
Yes,
do you want to stay big screen, or would you prefer to find a more reoccurring small screen role?
definitely. Whatever opportunities come my way, whether it's big screen or reoccurring. But I think the overall, the long game is just be starting to create my own stories.
What do you mean?
Creating my not just being an actor, but being a writer, producer. Have a hand in stories that that I can create. And produce and push. So that for me, that's the long game. That's the next level. I'm not at that position right now, but I am developing some things that in the future, yeah.
Tell me
That
more.
well, I'm not in a position where I want to talk about much of it, but that's the game.
Okay.
That's the career. The career goal is to, yes, continue to grow and be a part of great projects, great stories, and work with great filmmakers and other actors. But then the other part is to start telling my own stories and using those experiences and connections and that I've gone through and learn and be able to put that in my way and become, the next Ryan Coogler, or the next Spike Lee or something.
You need me to introduce you to Lloyd Kaufman?
That would be great.
You know who Lloyd is, right?
Lloyd Kaufman. I'm trying to remember. I'm bad. You got to remind me.
Tromeo Films.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Lloyd would love you.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to meet him and
He's been on the show. Uncle Lloyd is a pretty impressive guy. You might have heard of one of his proteges before, James Gunn.
Yes.
That's one of his proteges.
Really?
Yeah. So James Gunn was worked for Tromeo Films and created Tromeo and Juliet.
That's true. He was doing a lot of their films.
And if you ever watch the garbage movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, and you would actually see Lloyd Kaufman is one of the inmates.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's one of the inmates. Listen, here's why it's a garbage film to me. I'll put this out there. And James, you're welcome to come on the show anytime you want to. I will call you out on how garbage that movie is. I've read a lot of look, you can't see it from behind because it's behind the camera, but I own a lot of comic books. I've been a comic book fan for a long time. I'm going to Baltimore Comic-Con. I've gone to New York City Comic-Con. He disrespected every single character except for one, which was Rocket Raccoon. Just like to the level of like, nah, I'll just make these guys however I want to make them. Fuck them. Like to that level.
Wow.
But, yeah. Like I'm okay with, and that's actually a good question. And we're getting close to closing the bar right now. But it kind of feeds into another question that I always like to ask folks that are in that acting, Hollywood, that type of scene. What are your feelings when, if you, obviously a job's a job, but if you're acting in a movie or a TV series and if you knew the real character from the source material, how do you feel about when characters are changed, like drastically changed?
I mean, I feel like I didn't really couldn't tell the difference because I didn't really read the comics for the
I'm just
Guardians of the
saying
Galaxy.
in general in movies.
If it's too left field, if it's something I'm familiar with and they go real left field with it, with as far as the characters, I mean, yeah, I would be disappointed, but I would be okay if the story was great. Like if the story made sense, it was compelling and heartfelt, even though the characters were not true to their source material, I would be okay if the story was good. But if the story is not good, and if it's not, and it's too left field, yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't feel
Would you
comfortable
still would you still act in it?
as an actor.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious of as an actor. If like the check's still clearing.
Yeah, I may take that.
Hey, you ain't calling BS on that one. Look, the check's still clear.
No.
I gotta.
Well, I mean, it's like
rents due. I gotta pay bills.
True. But I feel like as an actor, I don't have the cachet to be able to call shots just yet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
right.
like right. Maybe like what's his Cavill? He's doing the Warhammer, right? He's a big Warhammer fan. And then some people saying that it's not being close to the game. I don't know if it's something to do with the gender or something. But I mean that's why he left Witcher, right? Because
that was just like, well, that's a whole nother thing. And Jim says, hell yeah, we all need to get paid. But you know what? That's a great point you bring up though. Is when you talk about this, is a Henry Cavill walking off from a movie or TV set and being like, listen, I know this entire character. I've read every book. I know this is wrong. It makes national news. Like, oh my God, he left the character. You or me walks away and like, hey, Drax actually punched Thanos through his back, through his spine, and pulled his heart out his chest. Why do we have Drax acting like a mouth-breathing idiot?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, listen, bro, you can get off the set. Like, you could go.
Yeah, we'll recast you.
Right. I got to teach you something for a minute, Ruiz. You ready? You ready, ER?
Yes.
Here, I want to teach you this right here. Ready?
Yes.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Do you know about that? Like if you give it the horns and you have your settings, I don't even know what my settings are. You got to be both fingers in the screen.
Okay, wait. I'm kind of too far back. Hold on.
All right.
Shit, I feel like I'm dyslexic. Am I blocking my face?
I don't know. Yours isn't working.
Be like that.
You could also do this one.
Oh.
See that? I get a little confetti. Or
yeah.
One. You ready for this one? Get some balloons. But you got to check your settings. Like, folks, what we're doing right now, if you're not watching the live, look at the storm. If you're not watching the live, if you go into and look at a post that we just put on our Facebook and our Instagram, there's hand gestures for FaceTime and for Zoom that when you make these hand gestures, it actually will come up on your screen like laser beams and rain and all kind. Yeah, I love this, dude.
I didn't even tell.
Like
That's
it's like so it was purely accidental the first time I did it. I was like this, and I was like, hey, this, and all of a sudden these balloons started popping. I'm like, huh? Fucking got balloons popping up. You just
yeah.
gotta
I'm too late in the podcast to change my settings right now.
No, it's not. I don't know if it's under those settings or it's under your eye settings, but look, like it's how great is it that these balloons are. What's up, white guy? Whitest guy. I mean, and then you're like, this is still the best though. Like you just give this rock on, and then you're like laser beams.
Dude, that's so cool.
Is that not the greatest? Like
That is so cool.
The laser beams are like the best. Hashtag the more you know. Yeah. So what about upcoming things? Like any projects coming up? Anything you can tell everybody about?
So I did a Tubi original movie. It's an earthquake movie. It's called Continental Split. I don't know when it's coming out. Excuse me. Sorry. Continental Split. Let me see. I can
That's why
tell
we use
you.
the straws. So we don't have to cough or nothing.
And another movie that I did. It's called Purgatory Station. I shot it in North Carolina earlier this year. Actually, yeah, it was earlier this year. I can't remember anymore.
Go ahead, Paul.
Actually, no.
Go ahead,
Actually,
Paul.
no. It wasn't. Actually, no. It was before the strike last year, right before the strike, and I'm working on another film tomorrow. I'm sorry, Friday. And I think James Gunn is in this film.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look at the breakdowns again, but it's called Apple Apple Finiacs, directed by Chris Mars Palero.
I mean, we're talking like James Gunn's DC's James Gunn, right?
Yeah, I think so. I saw his name attached to it, so
And
I think
that's pretty awesome.
yeah. So that's this Friday. Apple Finiacs. It seems like it's a horror thriller. I have like one scene in it. I don't know when it's coming out, but yeah, things are moving along. And I did another horror movie that's on Tubi. It's called Spaghetti. This girl puts a spell on her boyfriend, a voodoo spell inside the spaghetti sauce with her menstrual period.
Stop. Hold on. Can I tell you a story? Can I tell you a real deal story?
Yeah, go ahead.
I told you, 20 years in the Marine Corps.
20 years.
20 years. My boy is from Mississippi. I'm not going to say his name because he probably, fuck it. Nobody's listening. My boy, Bobby Ray. I mean, and we're talking like legit Jackson, Mississippi, Bobby Ray, like real deal, brother. Like people used to get confused. Like, why is the white dude and the black dude so close? Because I was from East Baltimore. He was from Jackson, Mississippi. Thick as thieves for a lot of you. And I will never on God's green earth forget when he was like, I don't eat at other people's houses. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, we're going to go to my house. He's like, I don't eat at other people's houses. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, I eat at other people's houses all the time. This is a real story he told me. Like, it's real. I'm doing the clap. I'm doing the
yeah,
clap.
yeah,
we're at real story time. And he said to me, I was going to drop this girl off. And folks, I apologize if I'm trying not to make this vulgar or anything, but she wanted this dude. Like she wanted him, like he's about to be mine. And she bought steaks
Oh,
and put a little bit of that. I got it. It's the only way I can put a little of that menstrual on the steak, and then cooked them and fed it to him. This is real. My boy was like, bro, he fell in love. He wanted nobody else. That was his girl. I'm like, he's like, after that, when I saw her do that, he's like, I was like, I will never eat at somebody else's house again. Real deal, real to the world, real deal.
Yeah.
My boy Jim's over here vomiting on Instagram. That really happened.
That is so real. That is so real.
Like straight up Mississippi voodoo, like real deal, realest of real.
Yeah.
And you're doing a movie about, bro. I'm telling you, I know somebody who watched it happen.
He's gonna get trauma if he watches this movie.
Yeah. Like Jim just said, you can't eat at everybody's house. You can't eat at everybody's house. Everybody a little different.
I'll just watch whatever women's house I go eat at.
Yeah, you gotta be. I mean, you gotta be cautious. Now, Nate didn't show up today, but I know how Nate asks questions, and Nate's a longtime listener. So I'm gonna give you two parts to what Nate would probably ask you if he was here. So the one part is, what is your favorite thing to have on the craft table? Like when the craft table shows up and you're like, yeah, this is on there. What is it?
Sushi.
Sushi on the craft table? That feels like gas station sushi. That feels like gas station.
No, they have a real chef right there, fixing it up for you right there.
Really? But that only like not California rolls though, like real legit. No.
Real legit. Like I did a music video with Green Day recently last year. Yeah, they had
14-year-old so happy.
Yeah, so I was in one of their music videos. I played zombie. I was the featured zombie. It came out during Halloween, so if you look it up, you'll see it. It came out last year. Anyway, they had a real sushi chef right there.
Legit.
Not no gas station, not the store, grocery store sushi. Nah, they had a real chef right there, like fixing it up, and I was like, damn, okay, shit, this is
real.
This is real.
All right, I'll give it to you. I mean, that's been the highlight. So maybe I'm gonna ask this question. Maybe it's a different answer. So when you get ready. So first off, well, I'll add that in afterwards. What is the one thing when you can create your rider that you're like, hey, this is going to be on my rider? And folks, if you don't know what a rider is, for actors and musicians, this is like when they hit the set, this gets handed, and like, if you want me there, this will be there. All green M&Ms or some weird shit sometimes. What do you want on your rider?
I did have something weird. I don't know if it's weird, but I wanted I can't think of the name of the brand right now, but it's a brand of almonds, but it's blue almonds. So it's like blue, I think it's blue almonds. Blue diamond. But with the blue colored almonds. So I want blue diamond, blue colored almonds. In my
like you get one, dude. Like you got to get that. You got to get the laser beams for that. It's got to be the horns. Got to do the horns, not the thumb, not the thumb. It's the horns. You got to go horns. There we go. Let's see if it does it for you.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening for me. It's okay.
I love that. Like blue diamond, blue almonds on your rider.
On my rider.
Y'all sounds absolutely amazing to me. now, before we get to closing all this up, I do have a rule for all my musicians and all my actors.
Okay.
And you may have already done this, and nobody's ever called me for it. And listen,
all right,
you give me enough notice. The plane ticket's bought. My wife's already said it's legit. I want to walk a legit red carpet one time.
Okay.
That's all I've ever asked. Like I want to walk a legit red carpet because I want to hear like the press being like, "Hey, guy, like who is that? Like with that amazing beard, who are you?" Like I want to
yeah.
legit. I only want like that's all I'm asking. One legit red carpet walk, maybe a Hollywood party. I'm not going to a Diddy party. You can't get me at a Diddy party. Fuck that. Flunk that all day long. And after
No
hearing
Diddy.
LeBron being like, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." Yeah, LeBron, we hear you. You know, yeah, I'm not going to a LeBron party. I would go
No
to a
Diddy.
I would go to a Mark Wahlberg party. I feel
I love Mark Wahlberg.
I feel like a Mark Wahlberg party, or like, you know, what the hell's his name? Not God, he's dating J-Lo. Can't think of his
You
name.
talking about Ben
Ben Affleck. Like a Ben Affleck party would be legit, but I'm not going to a Diddy party. You understand that, right? Like you can respect
no
that.
Diddy. I can respect that. I think Diddy is played out right now.
Like right now, Jim just said a Kevin Smith party. I would go to a Kevin Smith party in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, Kevin. He's a big comic fan. Yeah.
He owns Ben Affleck's house, right?
No.
So the house that he lives in, I'm pretty sure it's still his current home, is Ben Affleck's house, and it has in the office space, I don't know if it's a panic room or a hidden room. He's talked about it before. So basically, Kevin Smith owns Batman's house with a Batcave entrance. He's talked about this. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty damn legit. But we got to get
you, Sean.
We're
going to the red carpet. I got you.
I've had what the hell is Gabrielle's last name? Gabrielle, she was on Grey's Anatomy. I can't think of her last name. She was supposed to get me on the red carpet. She didn't get me on the red carpet yet. So I mean, somebody got to get me on at some point. I mean, because I think once the world sees this, I mean, come on now. I mean, this is like
contract. Hello, they're gonna be handing you contracts right there and then.
I mean, they're gonna be like, look how ruggedly handsome this man is. And I speak 3 languages. I speak Baltimore, Marine, and then English in that order. You know, I speak those 3 languages. I mean, how much better can you get? I'm no R. Lee Ermey, but damn it if I can't yell at some bitch.
I love it. I love your look. I love it.
I mean, it's legit. So as we do on every show, and don't log off right afterwards, we got to talk for just a minute after the show.
Okay.
We do this every show, and I know you've been watched. You know, we talked about it before. You've been watched all 232 episodes. You've downloaded it. You're fully immersed in the Above the Bar podcast. And folks, if you want to know what ER's got going on, make sure you're checking out our website, theabovethebarpodcast.com. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. If you're finding us through ER or ER through us, that like, share, and follow, it might sound cliche, but it actually has a lot of value to us. It means something. This is what we got going on. But I know you've been involved in all of it. As we do on every single episode, ER, the guest always gets the final word. So what's the final word for us tonight?
Don't do anything I won't do, but if you do it better.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.